Good evening. It is your favorite day of the week. It is Crypto Tuesday. We're here on, we're going to talk about stablecoins, what that is. There's a new report by the United States government. Guess what they want to do? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on today's Tax Talk. Join us, won't you? Okay, because it is today is Crypto Tuesday, the second day of November, year of our Lord 2021. Again, my favorite day of the week, Crypto Tuesday, where we get to talk about cryptocurrency, blockchain, and other types of technology-related crypto. Anything to do with crypto. Sometimes taxes, sometimes different coins, sometimes the blockchain, as I mentioned, sometimes smart contracts. And NFTs, all of these types of things we like to talk about here on the show. Today we're going to talk about stablecoins. Be honest with you, wasn't sure what I had heard about them, but I did not take special interest until today. A friend of mine, David Hochberg, had sent me our little image up here. He's got some of the strong reasons why you want stablecoin. It's stable. It's supposed to overcome many of the objections to crypto, right? This doesn't have the volatility that crypto does. And it's also backed by an asset, which is why it doesn't have the volatility that crypto does. And so, it doesn't have that investment value, I should say, and that you hope that you're going to make a lot of money by just buying it and holding it. It's as I mentioned, it's tied to some sort of asset. A lot of times, some fiat currency like the U.S. dollar, sometimes gold or some other mineral commodity, something like that, and they can buy and sell these commodities in order to stabilize the price. And the U.S. government has taken interest because that's what the U.S. government does. It takes interest in these things and wants to regulate them. So let's take a look at our first story. Actually, the first story, as is our wont, we always begin with our visit to our friend's website, CoinFlip, to look at the value of coin. As we talk about, a lot of times it's the volatility. So we always start our Crypto Tuesday by looking at the markets. So as we see here, the Bitcoin market in the last 24 hours is up, better than 2.5%. Ethereum's up better than 5%. This is in 24 hours. And then the Litecoin is also up about 1%, not 0.75%. But I always like to go back and look from our last visit together, which was last Tuesday. And then what was that? Last Tuesday, Bitcoin was at 60,000. And today, right now, it's at 62,819. So a fairly good increase. And then let's go to the Ethereum and see where that brings us. Ethereum, again, last week, at the last time we visited, was 41.53, and today it's at 45.39. So as we can see from the chart, it's going up. And it's kind of counter to what we're going to talk about today, which is the stablecoin. The 127 billion stablecoin industry should be regulated like banks, Treasury says. Now, if you ask the Treasury to come up with a recommendation for something like this, what do you think they're going to come up with? Well, I would be shocked if they said anything other than, hey, let's regulate it. We need to regulate it. We need to get inside this. So this is the President's Working Group on Financial Markets, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. The report on stablecoins. So this is the report on. So this is what the highly anticipated, as I found out. So let's just read the first because it tells you us what they think, what they say stablecoins are. Stablecoins are digital assets that are designed to maintain a stable value relative to a national currency or other reference assets. Today, stablecoins are primarily used in the United States to facilitate trading, lending, or borrowing of other digital assets, predominantly on or through digital asset trading platforms. Proponents believe stablecoins could become widely used by households and businesses as a means of payment. If well designed and appropriately regulated, stablecoins could support faster, more efficient, and more inclusive payment options. Moreover, the transition to broader use of stablecoins as a means of payment could occur rapidly due to the network effects or relationships between stablecoins and existing user bases or platforms. Stablecoins and stablecoin-related activities present a variety of risks. Speculative digital asset trading, which may involve the use of stablecoins to move easily between digital asset platforms or in decentralized finance arrangements, presents risks related to market integrity and investor protection. These market integrity and investment protection risks encompass possible fraud and misconduct in digital asset trading, including market manipulation, insider trading, and front running, as well as a lack of trading or price transparency. Where these activities involve complex relationships or significant amounts of leverage, there may also be risks of a broader financial system. In addition, digital asset trading platforms and other market participants play a key role in providing access to stablecoins and liquidity in the market for stablecoins. To the extent activity related to digital assets falls under the jurisdiction of the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the SEC and CFTC have broad enforcement, rulemaking, and oversight authorities that may address certain of these concerns. And so that goes on to say, basically it's saying, hey, if Congress doesn't regulate this, we're going to do it ourselves. And they believe through just the regulatory power from those agencies that I just mentioned, that they have the power to just go ahead and regulate it. Always regulating to take away the risk from the consumer, protect the consumer. We don't always need protection, but they protect us nonetheless. And so that's where we are. Congress should correct. Here's this article. Let me read the title again. I'll go back up to the title. 127 billion stablecoin industry should be regulated like banks, Treasury says. Does that surprise anybody? They're trying to regulate all cryptocurrency platforms like banks, right? They want full control over these markets and these platforms in order to first tax them. They always say that it's to protect the consumer, but it's really about taxes, in my opinion. Congress should crack down on the issuer of stablecoins, a blooming cryptocurrency pegged to fiat currency like the dollar, and regulate the technology as a traditional bank, according to a report issued by the Treasury Department. Again, did you ever think the Treasury Department would come up with any other recommendation but to regulate it like it does everything else? Wouldn't it have been a shock if they came out and said, you know what, let's just leave this alone. Let's not regulate this. We may stifle something here, so let's just leave it alone. I don't think that's ever been said by anybody at the Treasury. The absence of appropriate oversight presents risks in users. This is much what I just read to you. Current oversight is inconsistent and fragmented, with some stablecoins effectively falling outside the regulatory parameter. Oh no! You can't fall out the regulatory parameter. You got to be able to go get them. Failure to act risks growth of payment stablecoins without adequate protection for users, the financial system, and the broader economy, the report adds. The rapid growth of stablecoin increases the urgency of this work. Okay, so and it goes on, and again it goes on with statistics of why the different agencies think that it should be regulated, and on and on and on, and all the whole alphabet is out there. The Securities Exchange Commission, the futures trading, the Consumer Protection Agency, which is what the article that got me on this, sent by David Hochberg of Homeside Financial, brought to my attention. So he struck a unified tone in Monday's statement, saying, while Congress and the public evaluate this report, we at the SEC and our sibling agency, the Community Futures Trading Commission, will deploy a full protections of the federal securities laws and Commodity Exchange Act to these products and arrangements where applicable. Well, where do you think that they believe they're applicable? Everywhere. They're applicable everywhere. So this is from the U.S. This is from CoinDesk.com. The U.S. Treasury Stablecoin report would treat issuers like banks, but doesn't address how. The U.S. government's stablecoin report is finally out. Bank regulators are having a big day. Again, it was the regulators that wrote the report. What are they going to recommend? Regulation. That's what regulators do. They regulate. And here's the thing. They really believe that their regulations are really needed by everybody, because without them, we'd all be subject to this risk that they claim to eliminate. Of course, they do not eliminate the risk. We have seen that in our own markets. So the Biden administration public laws anticipated why it matters, whether or how stablecoins, which make up some $138 billion of crypto market, might be federally regulated, could have a major impact on the broader crypto market in the U.S. Further, the development of this regulatory framework could shape how startups launch stablecoins. Stablecoins report is finally out. It's 26 pages. Here's a summary of it. Stablecoins pose a number of potential risks to consumers, the crypto market, and financial stability in the real economy. Stablecoins also have the potential to become a key tool for payments. Congress should pass a law requiring stablecoin issuers to be insured depository institutions. If Congress doesn't take action, federal regulators might seek to leverage existing authorities to oversee stablecoin issuers instead. And again, I think that's what they really want, right? I think Congress won't act very quickly. They never act quickly on anything. And that will leave it to the regulators to take over. Do they have the authority to do that? Well, they believe they do, and that's enough for them. Rather than give the Securities and Exchange Commission or these other agencies, the regulators working on the report recommended that Congress take action, because they have to say Congress will take action. They can't say, hey, Congress, we're just going to take over. You don't have a role here. Of course Congress has a role there. But what they're saying is if you don't act, Congress, we will. Okay, both sides of Congress have been soliciting views about what's the appropriate framework for regulating digital assets and stablecoins. And the administration is leading some work on digital assets and other crypto assets. They've been open to discussions. Yeah, so again, Congress has been at the forefront, right? Assuming Congress has not passed such a bill, we'd have to see how exactly federal agencies would implement the new requirements. The FDIC is evaluating how to provide deposit insurance for its stablecoins, but it does not appear that will be anything in the immediate term. So I have one more story I wanted to get to today, and this is from why stablecoin regulation isn't urgent. So kind of bring us down to earth. A new report, blah, 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 but it strikes a worrying tone of urgency that could lead to a regulatory power grab in almost certain absence of clear action by legislatures in the House of Representatives and Senate. Stablecoins such as Tether and USDC are crypto tokens tied to a basket of assets meant to peg each token's value to a stable currency, such as the US dollar. By far, the most worrisome elements of stablecoins is that the assets backing them are not subject to consistent oversight, raising serious concerns about their quality and, yes, stability. In the event of a broad market downturn, a supposed stablecoin backed by fragile instruments could instead lose value rapidly in a crypto equivalent of a bank run. Well, so can the bank. That's why they call it a bank run. The new report, a joint project of the currency, broadly proposes rigorous new oversight of stablecoin backing. The report goes so far as to suggest bringing stablecoin issuers into the U.S. federal deposit insurance system. It was sponsored by the FDIC. That's who did the report. You think they're going to say, well, we're not needed here. This is nothing. Of course they're going to. Of course. That's why they started the report, so they can start the regulation. That recommendation represents a welcome acknowledgement of the validity of stablecoins as a potential useful financial and technological innovation. The report even hints at a path for existing traditional financial institutions to issue their own stablecoins, which could be a significant net positive for the growth of cryptocurrency as an element of the broader financial system. The report does not address so-called algorithmic stablecoins. I'm still convinced they're financial magic beans, but they are far less widely used than backed stablecoins. The algorithm. This omission should be welcomed, as it gives these barren manchus of crypto more runway to prove they can somehow hold themselves up by their own bootstraps or not. Well, I'm not going to go into this much more, but what is stablecoin? Why is it? But it's important that it's another avenue of crypto coins. And as I mentioned, cryptocurrency is the boogeyman of the regulatory agencies, and they really are trying to stop. In my opinion, they're not trying to stop crypto as much as control it. The whole worry of crypto, the whole beauty of cryptocurrency was the unregulated, that it wasn't controlled, it wasn't centralized. No one agency controls it. If the United States government takes over, then it kind of loses that, doesn't it? And now, again, I think that there is a market or a place for these stable coins. It's hard to trade Bitcoin when today it's worth X and tomorrow it's worth 2X or minus 2X, and so it's hard to buy and sell things. And again, I'm going to go back to using the coins rather than a storage of value, but using them to purchase things. That's supposed to be the strength of crypto. That's the promise of cryptocurrency, to use in buying and selling things on the internet and off the internet. An exchange of money around the world instantaneously. That's what the promise is. And if the federal government gets in the way and starts regulating it, that promise will not be realized with those coins. There'll be other coins. And so that's my own opinion. Thanks so much for joining us today. I want to remind you that if you're having problems with the IRS, as many of us do, then first thing you got to do, get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today. Go to freeirsbook.com. Get yourself a free copy, freeirsbook.com. Going to ask you, I should probably tell people that at the beginning to like and subscribe. I think a lot of YouTubers do that at the beginning of their presentation or the video. Says, hey, like and share. So I'll do it maybe I'll change that, put it to the beginning in the future episodes. But I'm going to ask you to like and share this content. We'd like to get it out to more people, and so we need your help to do so. So again, thanks so much for joining us. Again, it's Crypto Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. I hope it soon will be your favorite day of the week, so you can join us. Now tomorrow we're going to be back to today's tax talk. We'll talk about taxes. Won't you? I always forget to change my media, and so now I'm back. So join us, won't you, tomorrow?